What's up everyone, Michael here with another topic video. Today we're going to talk about the League of Legends client update, and I'm going to do something a little bit different. Normally I would just be playing a game or something like that in the background, but I'm actually going to show off the client this time because that's what the topic is about and it feels fitting. So that's what we're going to do. Anyways, I've been playing this game quite a lot recently because I personally like League of Legends. For as much hate as it gets from pretty much everyone, I enjoy it. So that's a thing. But regardless, they actually released a client update, or a client beta update technically. This is the beta version, which means that it's not technically fully complete, and there's a lot of bugs and things like that. A lot of people are having performance issues. I personally am not, so that's kind of nice, but I'm running it in full screen right now. Normally it would be in a smaller window, and I would recommend using it that way, because you can just Alt-Tab and do other things. But hey, I have it in full screen here. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now, obviously, it's going to look a little bit artifacted while it is kind of up-resed, because it wasn't meant to be at 1920 by 1080, quite frankly, so I would recommend running it at 720. But the videos and animations and things like that, I assume this is something they might end up fixing in the future, which actually kind of makes me hopeful, is that they might end up kind of fixing that. And they also have new button animations and stuff like that. I won't talk too much about the small details. I'm going to talk about the major stuff, and then just move into a game and kind of talk about what I think of it and, like, I don't know, just topic stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and sign in. Signing in is actually quite smooth now. The servers are still slow as ever sometimes. Like right now, it's taking me forever to log in, but sometimes it's mostly instant. I'm gonna go ahead and hide my friends so that I don't show off names. There we go. All right, anyways, back onto the client. So here we are back in the client actual thing. Now, if you ever played League of Legends, you probably know that it has a client and then it has the actual game. So when you're in the client, that's where you find your game and stuff like that. If you haven't played League of Legends, I don't know how useless this video is going to be to you, but hey, you can watch it anyways. I'll talk about some of the history of this anyways. So anyways, they've had tons of different client updates, and personally, this is my favorite one so far. So let's go ahead and look around it. So here we are on the homepage, and it shows obviously the overview thing. Now this is like recent news and stuff like that, and you can actually click on these. Now one thing that's kind of annoying is if I click on one of these, it's going to open up my browser to end up going to that thing, which is a bit annoying. I liked how in one of the older client versions, they actually had it so that you could click on these and it would change it within a window, and they had a separate window, and they had YouTube videos and things like that they could play in the client. That doesn't seem to be in this client, which personally, I don't mind that too much, because I would always just right click and go to the video anyways in my browser, because I like using the browser instead, because I normally run it in a smaller window. But it would be nice to see that as well. But this client does look a lot better when you actually look at it from this sort of view, because here you can be like, oh, I want to learn more, and it'll open up in your browser. And you can actually, oh, I think so. I think this will open to the browser. It will. All right. But, you know, you can actually see the artwork and it looks nicer, even though they have this kind of interesting shot they got here with this curve here. Anyways, you can also go to the free champion rotation. If you don't have all the champions, you can actually just click on this and it'll instantly take you over to your collections, which is where you can view all your champions and masteries and runes and things like that. And it'll show you which ones are in for your rotation. You can also view all of your champions as well, and it makes it very much easier to actually find where things are. This isn't hidden in like a menu. Like I used to always use the shop menu personally to find champions, because you had to go to the profile and then you had to go to the specific champion they were looking for, and their sorting options were not too great. This time around, they actually have some decent sorting options. So you have the ones you had before as well, but you can also sort by roles, and it seems to be actually updated, because if you knew about the old one, it actually sometimes didn't actually have some of the characters on there. Like I can't remember which one it was, but I remember there was one of the searching I was looking for. I think it was Fighter, and I was looking for Warwick, and he wasn't on there for some reason, which was a little bit strange. I think that might have been a bug with one of the client versions. Anyways, that seems to be nice. Also, you can go through your runes. This is how you do your runes. The runes have gotten a major little kind of visual update that makes it much easier to see exactly what things are. I personally like the new icons. So you can see that these ones, the red ones, are more attack, and it actually shows a different icon depending on which type it is. I do wish that they had a little bit more kind of defined images that made more sense on a just kind of like a quick look. Obviously, this is all attack speed on here and movement speed quints, because I use this on quick characters. I know people are going to criticize me for my league skills, but hey, there you go. That's just the one that I use for general stuff. But you can actually see they all have different icons. You know, some of them just don't really make much sense. Like I'm not exactly sure what some of these are, but I think that just comes into experience. They're new. I like them. Then you also have masteries, which got this nice little overview. And so it's kind of annoying to actually navigate which kind of mastery pages you want to go through. So up here, you actually have your mastery list. Now, I wish there was still the old system to where you actually had a bar up here to where you could switch between them like quickly. Because when you're in a game and you have to edit these, this is kind of a pain in the ass to use, which is kind of annoying. And then you have your spells. which just shows you what things do. And they have this nice little animated thing, which is kind of cool. I like this. It just shows it, although it's really, really slow. Now, on the old client, they actually had a little video square thing, which they've just made it so that it's big. So overall, it has a nice little visual style to it. You can also view the most recent patch notes, which I feel is extremely important to have inside the client. I hated the old days of having to go into the browser to end up checking that out and having to go through the website and everything. And then in the last version of the client, they actually had this, and I thought it was the best addition to it. But now you can actually scroll through this. Now you can go through the whole thing. Links actually work in this version instead of just linking you to the web page. So that is awesome as well. And then we'll go ahead and look at the profile stuff, and then we'll talk about what this kind of means. So here we have the normal profile page. Now, this has actually gotten a lot of kind of like a rework almost. It's basically because a lot of the information that was used to be in the profile page was moved to collections, such as your champions, your masteries, runes, and the spells page was always inside the profile. Now it's been moved here. So that's kind of nice. And now you have the profile stuff, which is just about you and your games, I guess. Now, season just reset. I know I'm in silver. Bite me. And it placed me in bronze. I was bronze 5 when it placed me, and now I'm building it back up. It's taken me a few matches. I was playing with a friend who was not doing particularly great, so that's why I'm not silver again yet, but hey. And then it also shows your mastery. Now, some of the images are a little bit blurry down here. I think they'll up-res those eventually, but hey, there you go. Now, one thing that's cool, I have the DJ Sona thing, so it's going to show DJ Sona, but if I go to another one, it'll actually show your most recently played champion, or I guess most played champion recently, which is kind of cool. I don't know if it did that before. I know the old profile page used to have like some weird icon thing, and I've just had DJ Sona since it came out, so I don't know if they updated that. Then you have your match history, which actually got a nice little overwork here, so you can actually see like what you've been playing recently. You can look inside of each game inside the client, and you can actually view quite a bit of stats. You can be like, oh, here's how I did. This was an ARAM match, by the way. So you can look at your ARAM matches as well and everything. And then one thing that's kind of weird about this is there's the X in the top right corner to actually exit that thing, which I feel like that should be in more places, because up in the top right was not the first place I ended up thinking to close that. I was looking for like some sort of back button or something like that. I think a back button over here would have been nice. On the top left would have been cool as well. But you can actually view all the decent details, and you can actually view the replays. So I can click here and download a replay of the match and actually watch a replay, which actually works in the majority of cases. There's been a few games to where somebody disconnects, it won't show a replay of it, but for the most part it will. Like this one right here, I can click on here and it'll instantly go over to my replay. So skipping forward. And now you see, now it's loading up the replay, which I shouldn't have clicked on that. I thought it was going to confirm whether it would load that up or not. But it actually just like went straight directly into the replay, which is kind of annoying. But one thing that's cool is I can just Alt-Tab back into my client, and you can actually do everything in the client while a replay is running. It no longer closes down the client. You can also do this while you're in a game, which is slightly strange. It does say game is in progress, so it doesn't let you like find a new game, but you can actually just go through the entire client while this thing is loading, which it's apparently taking forever. So that's a thing. Anyways, back over to the profile page. Now, one thing that is annoying is you can also move the window as well. So that's one thing that I hope they end up adding a mode where you can like full screen it and have it locked, because the only way to fix that now is to actually just change your window size and then change it back. So that's annoying, but you can change it at any moment. And then you also have your ranked stuff, which shows all your ranked stats. And so you can be like, oh, here I am on the leaderboards, and here's my top played champions. Here's the match history thing. Like, one thing I like about this is you can actually see which like roles you've been playing a lot. And so you can be like, oh, I've been playing as a marksman a lot of games, which is true. I've been playing a lot of Jhin. And then you can also be like, oh, I've been support, I've been playing mages, you know, Vygar is my most played champion right now. So you can go up on here and be like, oh yeah, 20% of my games have been Vygar. So obviously I'm playing it. And you can also hear in the background, my game is currently doing the replay thing, which is pretty cool. And you can download these whenever you want. And it's kind of nice that it integrates with the client now and doesn't lock you out of it. So I can actually go to play, and I believe I can actually look for a game while I'm playing a replay, which is kind of nice. I don't know if you were able to do that before, but I think it locked out the client. Anyways, how do I exit this? Exit game, yes. So that's kind of cool. You can actually watch a replay while you're looking for a game and then find a new match. Now, here is the final thing I'm going to end up looking for. Also, they have clubs now, which that's the thing they introduced a long time ago. It's basically guilds. I don't screw with it. Anyways, let's go up in the top right or top left. You can actually see the play button, which returns to the lobby when you're in the lobby. and you're able to kind of search for your games. You can also switch your game type whenever you want as well. Let's go ahead and just go for a ranked flex because that's what I'm doing at the end of this video. And then you can select your roles. Now they have a nice little scrolly wheel thing that looks different. I don't know. I like the look of it, I guess. And we'll do my main roles and we'll say find a match. And one thing that I'm kind of disappointed about is that this section isn't animated anymore. I would have liked this section to be animated because in the current Legacy client, it is all animated and it looks kind of cool. It's a little bit artifacted, especially when you make it larger, but hey. And then this is normally when I would be like, hey, I want to make this window smaller, so I'd be in 720 and I'd be playing into the game. Like I'd be like, oh, I want to play Monster Super League or something like that, and I'll play that while I'm waiting for a match because it takes a while to find a game, which is kind of annoying. So that's a thing. But also they have different settings as well, so you can go in here, you can do all of your settings like you would before. The window size actually automatically places it in the center of your screen now, which is kind of nice. The old client did not do that. So if I went to like this full screen resolution, it would not automatically fill my screen. I'd have to move it. And so that's one of the major reasons why I didn't do that. Notifications, you can turn off eSport notifications. I would like to show more options here. And then you get your chats and friends, you know, enable language filter, always turn that off because everyone likes to curse. That's a thing. And then warn me when I click a link in chat. Meh, I don't care because I'm careful with my clicks. You can get the sound. Now, one thing that is kind of a problem in the current version is if you disable music, it will also disable your music, like in the login, which is kind of annoying. And then you have your block list. Screw all these people, all of them. They are jerks. Every single person I've ever blocked is a jerk. And then you also get your about, which shows you the client thing, and then it also shows you the beta version. And so that's basically just an overview of the client, and I am searching for a game. I would like to show off the champ select, so I'm going to go ahead and skip forward to that, so we will be right back. Alright, so while we're waiting for a match, I decided I'm going to go ahead and show off some of the character pages, so let's go ahead and click on Annie, and you can actually see the new character pages. So here is the actual new kind of, I guess, I don't know what they call it, like it's a new diamond, I guess, but it's technically not a diamond anymore, but it shows like kind of how much of each type they are, which is kind of a nice little icon thing. I don't know if they had this before, but I personally like it. You can also see the style as well, so it'd be like, this person is mostly for spells, and then here, over here is the auto attack, and then the difficulty level, which you should completely ignore because, quite frankly, it's normally not very useful to know how difficult a champion is to play, because technically, you know, any champion is easy to play in the grand scheme of things. It's how well you use their abilities and how well you synergize them. Anyway, so here you get your new abilities and stuff like that. Over here, it'll automatically play the video, which is kind of nice. You don't have to like click play on a little icon or anything like that, and it's not in a small window. And it actually looks pretty good on the text side to where you're able to view it quite well. I know on the old client it would have some problems and stuff like that. Now, one thing that I don't like is that the kind of new skin slider thing is kind of weird. There we go. We found a match. It's a little bit weird. I think I like the old one better, but at the same time, this one looks fine. It obscures less of the actual image. Anyways, here is the champ select, so you get a nice little graphic image. I think it looks nice. I like this artwork personally. We don't see it again. It goes away. Anyway, so here is our defined. I am in draft mode, which means we select kind of what we want. We declare our champion. So I'll be like, I'm going to be bot lane. So I'll be like, I'm going to play Jinx or something like that. You know, that's it. But here's the new champ select thing. I do wish we had an option to make the icon smaller, but it's nice and animated now. So I can open this back up to redeclare champion anytime I want, just like before. And then here, we're able to see what people are banning, which obviously takes time because people are freaking slow. And I'm slow as well. I'll be like, I don't know who to ban. I always ban like one of 3 champions, and they're always banned anyway. So I'm like, hey, I don't know what to do. And so I just have to wait. But yeah, here, will be understood everyone actually says something when they end up getting banned as well, which is kind of cool. I think that adds a little bit of personality to it. One of the things that League of Legends has always been good about is giving their characters personality. I'm going to ban Blitzcrank because I'm a noob and I don't want to deal with him right now. So that's a thing. But yeah, down here you can actually get your masteries. Now they have a list for now. I need to get more pages because I'm tired of changing my unique one. Every time that I play a new champion, I'm like, oh, I need to change my unique one. I think this one was for Olaf and Gnosis that I was playing with because I was doing a really cool bruiser build. Anyways, and then you also have your masteries. Now, it doesn't actually say what these are when you click on them, which is a little bit annoying. They need to change that for people that don't necessarily know what they're doing. That would be nice if it said like something like, oh, this is your rune pages. Now, obvious, if you've played it for a long time, you'll know exactly what these are, so it's clean. But at the same time, you know, it would be nice for those people. And then you also get your spells and stuff like that, which it actually describes what they do when you select them and yada yada. So I'm taking teleport and I'm taking flash. And then you also get your ward skins, which I don't have any ward skins because that's how I am. You can also go back in. And as I said before, editing your masteries in this new version is kind of annoying. Now it is kind of nice. You can see the timer up in the top, which is super handy. But at the same time, you know, it's just annoying to navigate this thing. There's a larger distance between each node that you have to click on. And so in the old one, it was like nice and small. It was like this little tiny square and you're like, click, 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 click. I get through it really, really quickly. And this one, it takes longer to scroll across the entire screen. And even when you make the window smaller, it's still more space that we get through. Now, obviously, this bit is still animated, so when people are selecting the champion, it still shows it and everything like that, which is kind of nice. I don't know, that was in the last version anyway, so it's not really special, but they added this weird blur effect, which I actually like, but it does mean that each kind of image that they actually did, they had to go in and find their face and actually customize it. So, like, the technical side of this is actually a lot more in-depth than it looks, but it does give it this nice kind of feel to it. And now that I'm using it in full screen, like, it feels like it's part of the game rather than feeling completely separate than the game. Like, all the aesthetic ties into the way Summoner Rift kind of looks and feels now, especially with the UI inside the game. It very much kind of feels like that UI instead of the old Legacy UI, which even the last version kind of had this UI, but at the same time, it had some inconsistencies and still felt separate. I don't know if I want to play Jinx against that setup. I want to play Caitlyn instead. There we go. We'll lock in Caitlyn. We're on the case. She leaves her fuzzy cuffs at home, though, so she's kind of boring. Anyway, so, like, yeah, so I think I like the client. Let's go ahead and go into some conclusion stuff. Sorry if this video dragged on, or if you don't even care, because everything else is the same after this bit. It's the same as it always been, because it was only for the client. So you see this, it starts up the game. Now, one thing that I do wish they would re-add is the countdown timer. Like, you see the countdown timer at the top, but what it would do is it would, like, tick down, so it'd be like tick, 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 tick. Oh yeah, here's where you select your skins as well, so you can select them. I don't have any Caitlyn skins. I need to get one, because I play her a lot. So anyways, moving on. This was only a client update, so they didn't really do much, but I do wish they had that timer down to where it used to make this really loud, audible, like, boom, boom, boom sound every time it got down to, like, I think it was like 10 or something like that, and it would start ticking down. Now, some people thought it was annoying, but at the same time, I liked it, because if I was, like, let's say, alt-tabbed playing Monster Super League, then I would be like, oh, hey, I need to go do this, and then that would be a thing I would go and do. So, there you go, you know, it would be like, hey, just a reminder. I wish they would add that back. Now, they do make it so that it pops up on your bottom bar, like if you have it on a taskbar, if you're on Windows, it'll show up. By the way, I think this is on Mac as well. I'm not 100% sure, but I think a Mac user was using it. I don't know if the client beta is up, but I know if you're on PBE on Mac, it is available. So that is the thing. Anyways, so we're loading into a game. Everything else, like I said, is the same. They need to update this loading screen again, because there you go. I don't have my loading border. What the hell, guys? Where's my loading border? My loading border's gone. All right, anyways. As in conclusion, I personally like the client update. I know a lot of people are having performance issues with it right now, and there's a few bugs. Like, I've had it so that I change my masteries, and then when I get in game, it doesn't actually change them. Same thing with spells. So I'll be like, oh, I want to take Ignite this match, because let's say I'm playing, I'll be playing Tristana, because I don't take teleport on Tristana, I take Ignite. So I'll be like running Ignite on Tristana, and then like, it'll go in game, and I'll still have teleport. And I'm like, I changed that. Like, I'm pretty 100% sure I changed that, and there's been a few problems with that. But at the same time, the client update looks really, really nice. And for me personally, it's performing perfectly fine. Now, I obviously run a pretty powerful rig, so if I was having performance issues, that would be kind of strange. And obviously, some of the textures and stuff like that were not designed to be blown up to 1920 by 1080. They were designed to be in that smaller sized client, that weird kind of window sizes and everything like that. So some of it's kind of artifacted, but I think they'll actually change that in the future. A lot of the newer artwork is a lot higher quality. I don't know if it's actually higher quality in the actual, like, data front in the files. I don't know if they're larger images, but they do look crisper and cleaner. I think they're less artifacted, which is nice. And I hope they end up doing that in the future for all of their stuff. Overall, it's a cool little client update. I personally like League of Legends because it's always updating. And this is just one of those things where I'm like, I want to check it out and just kind of do a video on it because I play this game a lot. I wish that I don't really play it a lot. I play it a decent amount. Recently, I've been unemployed, so I'm like, hey, I have time. I may as well play it. There we go. So I've been playing it, and it is quite fun. But at the same time, I'm always trying to look at video opportunities to do on it because I do enjoy it that much for as much hate as the community gets. But Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and sign this video off. Sorry there was no gameplay in this one. Yeah, that's just how it goes. So anyways, this has been Michael with another topic video. Today we were talking about the League of Legends client update, whatever version number it is. I should have looked that up before I started this video. That would have been intelligent. But personally, I like the new client update. I think that it looks nice. I think that it blends much more with the way the game kind of is now and the way that it kind of looks inside the game. Like League of Legends used to be just a massive color cartoon explosion, which some people personally like that, and I personally felt like it had some personality. And when they did the whole update to Summoner's Rift, and they started changing all the character models and things like that, or character colors and everything like that, to make it less saturated, I guess, like that, they've kind of backrolled that on a little bit. Like, you can see this map now, like, the map is a little bit more saturated than it used to be, and I feel like they've actually taken that, and they've really kind of shifted the way like League of Legends kind of looks and feels, and I feel like they've done a really, really good job. And now it feels kind of like that Summoner feel to it. Even though Summoners don't exist in the lore anymore, it does feel very much more towards their kind of brand. Instead of just kind of like this mismatch of branding and whatever they want, then it actually feels coherent now, which it hasn't for like 4 years of its development. Like, I've played this game ever since Season 1, and it's like, it never really felt like everything meshed together. Like, even just the champions themselves were just random champions that were thrown in. So, yeah, now they're actually getting closer and closer to what I feel is very much a coherent product. And I hope that League of Legends lasts a long time, because if they do all this work and then it dies, that would kind of suck. But I don't know. I enjoy playing it, so I'm doing a video on it. If you guys would like to see more content of my own style, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And obviously leave your thoughts on the client update, or if you don't even play League of Legends, do you think this video was interesting? Leave those comments in the bottom. And obviously we're seeing gameplay now, so whatever. If you want to watch this gameplay, I'll go ahead and end up recording all of it, and then I will upload it as an unlisted video, and I'll link it in the description if you actually want to see how my game goes. I won't be chatting through it, because I don't want to do that while doing this video. But hey, there you go. And, you know, obviously, make sure to leave your comments on what you think of the new client update, and if you think that it's interesting, or if you even like League of Legends. Should I do more League of Legends type content? Like, I might bring back an old series that I did called Meta Break, which was kind of an interesting little mesh to where I played around with builds and stuff like that, and I thought that was a fun little thing to do. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and sign off this video's audio right now, and I will see you guys in the next video.